What up, y'all? Let's get into this Diddy trial. Yo, I was originally going to get on camera, but I was like, nah, I'm just going to read this. It's too much. We're going to go through days 2 through 5 of Cassie's testimony, and it's a lot. So I already have a video up for day 1. You can already check this out. In this video, we're going to talk about days 2 through 5. I'm really thinking about going to New York to go to this trial because I really need to hear what's going on to get a sense of the energy of who's winning and who's losing. I need to get in that courtroom. So I might go to this trial. But anyway, first, let's take a look at the federal definition of trafficking in reference to Cassie in particular. This is the definition: the recruitment, transportation, or obtaining a person for the purpose of a commercial sex act induced by force, fraud, or coercion. For it to be commercial, the sex act has to be exchanged with something of value or perceived value to the person. For example, now I don't know if that's just been proven yet, but it's close. This is why it's close. His team keeps saying this is DV. To me, DV is a part of force. So if that sex worker in that room, in that hotel, says he beat her in that room and she was trying to leave the freak off and you're dragging her back, that is force. You're forcing her to come back. The coercion part. Cassie talked about an incident at the film festival where Diddy accused her of taking like some drugs, stealing some of his dope or whatever. He kicked her off her boat, so she changed her seat on the airplane so she didn't have to sit next to him because they beefing. He changes his seat to go sit right next to her, opened the iPad up and played the freak-off tapes. Now, he told her he deleted the tapes, but he had them and he played them and insinuated like, if you think when we get home you finna get cute, I'll release these tapes. So there's definitely elements of force and coercion. Where they haven't quite connected the dots yet to me is, I don't think they've quite literally tied up the commercial element. They need to tell the jury when she did the freak-offs, he paid for her houses. When she did the freak-offs, she was able to go into the studio. It's close now. They almost getting there. It's close. Cassie also testified about how she really wanted to be his girlfriend. She really wanted a real relationship, but he didn't want that. She was just his plaything. And she said something so vital, it got struck. Like the judge said she can't keep this statement in, but she said, I was just his sex worker. Y'all, that is the trafficking. His team has to figure out a way to combat that because she felt like just a worker for him. And based off of everything that we heard, she does just seem like a toy. She seemed like a toy that he played with and he put it back when he was done. And if she tried to date other people, he got violent. That is where the racketeering comes in. You was involved in blowing up somebody's car. He allegedly arranged it. If they can prove that, that's strike one. All they need is one other act to get him on the RICO. Okay? That one other act could be kidnapping, trafficking, bribes. That's just the law. It's black and white. But yo, let's get into day 2. So Cassie is testifying about how the relationship started. She was dating Ryan Leslie. Diddy signs her to Bad Boy. He lures her away from Ryan and he introduces her into drugs. Now, she wasn't into all that. She said, I ain't know nothing about no drugs. I had never even done oral sex before. So he turned her out. Let's keep it a buck. He turned her out. She's 21 at this time. She's new. He done introduced her to the freak-offs by saying, hey, this is what I'm into. And she's like, well, you know, if this is what you into, we can try it out. I love you. So that's how he turned her out. So once he turned her out, then he starts breaking her down, physically beating her, mentally getting into her brain, saying things like, your shoes are dirty. You look a mess. So at this point in the relationship, she's insecure. He's not public with her. He's still popping out here and there with Kim. So she's sitting home jealous. She would be like, I just want to spend time with you. Let's go on a date. And he would be like, man, let's set up the freak-offs. Now, the freak-offs were bad. I don't even want to talk into detail about the freak-offs. But he would have her sleeping with 2 to 3 men in one night, multiple nights out the week while he just watched. She was so drugged out one night, she woke up and Diddy and the escort was doing number 1, urinating on her. Down her throat, she almost choked. She also said if the male escorts started to feel sorry for her, they wouldn't get paid if they couldn't finish the job. Like if they couldn't get, aroused, Diddy wouldn't pay them. And this is how they finna get him on the prostitution. Because you got sex workers saying, hey, if I couldn't get hard, he wouldn't pay me. But if I could get hard, I would get paid. He would fly me out, so he's cooked on that. Now, day 3. So Cassie went into more details of the aftermath of the freak-offs. She talked about how she had UTIs, mouth sores, and through all this, he still demanded the freak-offs. So on day 3, she talked about how Diddy found out she was talking to Kid Cudi during the freak-off. She ran out of the freak-off. Kid Cudi picked her up, and she just wanted to be gone. She just left. She said about a day or so later, Diddy hit her up and said, come by the house so we can talk. When she gets to the house, Diddy threatens to expose the freak-off tapes, and he says he gonna hurt Kid Cudi. And so she got up and was like, well, I'm finna go. And he kicked her in the back, kicked her down. He then sent an email to her saying he was gonna hurt Kid Cudi, but he would be out of town when it happened. Said he was gonna blow the car up. So she broke up with Kid Cudi. She was nervous. She didn't want him to get hurt. So guess what happens? Kid Cudi's car blows up. Crazy. So Diddy calls a meeting with Cassie and Kid Cudi, and she has to tell Cudi she can't see him no more. And Cudi said, well, what about my car? Diddy said, nigga, what about your car? So by the end of the day, the prosecution said, why did you write this book? She said, it was a part of my therapy. I was writing down my thoughts. It eventually turned into a book, and I just wanted him to read it. I wanted him to see and understand everything he done to me. I wanted him to understand what I was put through. She wanted him to know about how the drugs and the freak-offs and the violence affected her. And then she said, I ain't gonna cap. I wanted to be paid for my time and paid for my pain. The prosecution said, well, you did a lawsuit. How much did you settle for? She said, I asked for 30, but I took 20, and I got paid in 24 hours. They said, how many freak-offs did you do with Diddy? She said, hundreds. They said, how many freak-offs did you do after Diddy? She said, none. So they're laying the foundation that she wasn't really into that lifestyle. She wasn't really about that. So now we get to day 4. Diddy's team now has the ball, and they get to cross-examine her. So he has one of the female attorneys to, go ahead and go at Cassie. So they set the stage like, you just loved Sean, didn't you? You just kept running back to him. She was like, no, we kept getting back together. Like, I wasn't chasing him. We was rekindling. So we're going through like the text thread with Diddy saying, Cassie, thanks for coming to ATL. I'm such a lucky man. And Cassie's like, I'll fly wherever you need me to be. So Diddy texts her and was like, when you want to do a freak off? Cassie's like, I'm always ready for the freak offs. Now the whole thread was Cassie and Diddy texting about the freak offs. She's down. She's ready. I want to do it. I'll set it up. Let's get to it. The defense says these texts show you that she was ready for the freak offs. She said, well, this is what was expected of me. This was my job. I had to set them up. There's another text of Cassie saying, I just watched our little video and I deleted it. So Diddy's lawyers was like, well, what was the video? She was like, I don't remember. The defense said, you probably don't remember because you was high on drugs, right? You probably was high. So they're showing an email with Cassie complaining about all we do is freak offs. I want to be your girlfriend. Now to me, this feels damaging to Diddy. The defense think this is actually working for Diddy. The defense is trying to set the stage that you wanted to be a girlfriend and Diddy didn't want that. That's why you're so angry. That's why you're so mad. That's why you're suing. The reason this feels so bad to me is because she's literally insinuating or writing in this email, I just feel like a sex worker. I don't feel like your woman. But the defense is painting it like you were just jealous. You couldn't be his girlfriend. You wanted more. Then they started talking about the drug use. So the defense is like, you and Sean both did drugs. What happened when y'all didn't have any? She said, he got agitated. He got angry. So the defense is setting the stage that he was beating her because he was going through withdrawals, not beating her for the freak-offs. So day 4 was all about showcasing how Cassie was really with the freak-offs. She was about that life. Now on day 5, the defense gets to finally finish up with Cassie. So we found out that Cassie got a little temper too. So Cassie learned that one of her associates, friends, may have gotten a hold to one of the freak-off tapes. So she called Diddy like, yo, this dude is saying he got a video of me. And Diddy like, well, keep watching him. Don't let him out of your eyesight. So she confronts him and is like, I will kill you if this tape gets out. You'll go missing and it won't be by my hands. Give me the tape. So Cassie is going off. So everybody's like, ooh, Cassie got a little humph in her. She ain't just this innocent pregnant woman. So In day 5, we're getting close to the end of the relationship, and Cassie says in like August or September of 2018, Diddy violated her. The defense was like, well, if he violated you, why did you sleep with him a month later, and was it consensual? She said, yeah, it was consensual then, but it wasn't consensual in August. They was like, wasn't you with your boyfriend at the time? She was like, yeah. And then they went on to talk about how things really ended when Kim Porter passed away. A couple months after that, in November 2018, Diddy called Kim his soulmate, and Cassie was over it. That was it. I was done. She was over it. But what's crazy is over the next few years, Diddy kept texting her random things like, hope all is well. And she wouldn't respond. He was like, congratulations on the baby. Congratulations on the wedding. To me, that is all about psychological control. He wanted to still have control over her, but she would not respond to the text messages. I think they said she finally responded like 6 months or a year later. Then his lawyer brought up the settlement, like, you got $20 million from Diddy, and then you got another $10 million from the hotel. So they were pretty much insinuating like, this ain't about justice. All you wanted was money. You didn't really care about justice because you never went to the police. You went to a lawyer. You wanted to get paid. Listen, she deserves to get paid. But what I will say is that the defense did do a good job of showing the instances where Cassie via text was cool to do the freak off. But the question is, if I'm cool to do the freak off on Monday, but on Friday I don't want to do the freak off, and you force me to do it, isn't that part of the force, fraud, and coercion? This case is gonna be tough, man. This can go either way at this point. All right, so once Cassie got off the stand, they called up the special agent. The agent was there when Diddy got arrested for his federal charges in September. If y'all don't know, Diddy got arrested at a hotel. She said when she got into the hotel room, she found cash, baby oil, and drugs. What's crazy about this is Diddy knew he was supposed to be turning himself into the police. Like, he went to New York to specifically turn himself in, and the Joker was trying to do another freak off. He got a problem. He was trying to do a freak off before he went to jail, and the feds took him in early. Crazy. Then there was commotion about Don from Danity Kane testifying. His team objected, and everybody was confused because they had already told us on day 4 that Don was going to be testifying right after Cassie. So the judge is like, well, why y'all ain't object yesterday? Or why y'all ain't object this morning? Why do y'all wait until 4 o'clock when Don's getting ready to get on the stage, and now you want to object? The judge was like, child, bring Don in. We ain't got time to be playing the games. So Don was brought in to testify about an incident with Cassie. Don said she was at Diddy's house because he has a studio there, and Cassie was making Diddy some eggs. So Diddy ran down the stairs and pretty much was like, why you taking so long with my eggs? He picks up the skillet and was about to clock Cassie with it, but she fell to the ground and he just started wailing on her, just beating her. Pow, 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 pow. Don said Diddy called a meeting the next day and was like, listen, what you saw last night was just passion. I'm about to take this group to the top, and don't talk too much because people who talk show up missing where I'm from. And Don was like, she got scared. She felt like that was a threat. And Diddy's team jumped up and said, objection. She's lying. And the judge was like, listen, y'all, everybody just go home. Okay. Don, you go home. Jury, go home. It's been a lot. It's 5 o'clock. Everybody go home. So when we leaving off on day 5, we don't know if Don is coming back or not. The judge didn't say either way. So that was pretty much day 2 through 5 of the Diddy trial. And yo, it's crazy. He's cooked on the prostitution. He's cooked. Rico, if they can prove that arson and they can prove kidnapping, he's cooked on Rico. Sex trafficking, that's a little gray right now. That's a little gray. I don't know. But leave your comments below. How do y'all feel like Cassie did this week? Do you think Diddy's gonna beat this thing? Peace.